You know, the challenge today really is how do we maintain our programs at a time when our resources are diminishing? And, you know, for a period of several years, we're here at a small private university, and enrollment is a big part of the revenue that we have, and it's been challenging. So we have built programs and resources to support our teams. And as those diminish, how do we stay at the same level that we've been at? And you know, it's really been a challenge here at a private university. I see the same thing occurring with state universities as well. State funding is going down. I think a real advantage for us, at least in athletics, is that we have some natural programs that allow us to generate revenue. And it's more critical than ever that we're active in working in those programs to make sure that we can keep the resources to support our efforts. You know, the biggest reward, without a doubt, I think any administrator would tell you, is having the opportunity to impact young people. You know, every year here, we have student athletes who wouldn't be able to go to college were it not for the passion that they have for their sport. Every year here, we have students who are the first member of their family to graduate from college. And so, you know, I've been at this long enough now that I get to see the snot-nosed 18-year-old kid come and grow and mature and go and do things in our community. And then really, I see 45-year-old alums that I knew when they were 20-year-old students, just doing great things to one, to support our endeavors, but growing into mature folks that contribute. And it really is a great reward for all of us. I spend most of my time thinking about the experience that we're providing our student athletes. We really exist because of them. I say this often, but playing sports is not the easy way to go to college. And yet our expectations for student athletes are high across the board. We expect them to be socially integrated. We expect them to be academically successful. You know, not just maintain your eligibility, but overachieve. And we expect them to be competitive. So, you know, I think what I'm dwelling on the most is, are we delivering for our student athletes what we promised? And, you know, there's a fair amount of my time that's also spent worrying about money and raising money. But far and away, my concerns and efforts in those areas all go back to providing for our student athletes a great experience and a great opportunity. You know, the best advice I was given, my career in sports started in baseball. I worked for the Oklahoma City 89ers. And our boss, our general manager, his name was Jim Abbott. That first day on the job as an intern, we had a staff meeting, and among the things that he told us were, don't promise what you can't deliver, and always deliver what you promise. And to this day, that resonates for me. You know, I think if you're a person of character, you're not going to promise something that you can't provide. And similarly, if you step out there and make a promise that you're going to do something, it better be important to you to deliver, because as folks consider you as a person, as they consider our athletic department, that's how they're going to determine what you're all about and who you are. You know, I'm not the most technologically proficient person, but I'd say I'm probably above average. It's weird to think that 12 years ago, we just sort of had the start of Facebook, and you know, 12 years later, Facebook, the kids say, well, Facebook's for old people. So, you know, I'm proud that we have pushed ahead from a technological standpoint. I use Twitter pretty extensively. I host a weekly Twitter chat called SCA Chat. And the whole idea of the chat is to just bring guys and administrators together to exchange ideas. So I would say that I'm above average technologically. It's always changing. What I tend to do is I just kind of stick my foot into the water a little bit. So years ago, I joined Twitter. I never did anything with it, and eventually and slowly started taking advantage of it. But the world is so much smaller today, and particularly at a small college, our resources are so few that we have to be able to take advantage of the technological side of things. And I really expect that my staff is going to be versatile. So if I can't just rely on my staff of 20 people to handle the technological side, to some extent, I'm going to be involved in that, and I expect everyone else to be involved as well. It will be really interesting to see where college athletics is in 10 to 25 years. Number one, I think we're going to be as solid as ever. I think there's a lot of interest in college athletics. I think there are a lot of great things that come out of college athletics. I'm not sure that we get to hear those great things every day, but a couple of things that I would predict are, number one, I think you're going to see the evolution and emergence of more sports. We're just a year away in the NAI from cheerleading being a national championship sport. I think it's a phenomenal thing. And I think you're going to continue to see sports like lacrosse, women's wrestling, some of these emerging sports that actually become national championship sports. And honestly, I think it's a tremendous thing. It's a great thing. I think what you're also going to see in the next 10 to 25 years is you're going to continue to see the separation that is starting now between the Big Five schools, the power conference schools, and the rest of us. I work in small college athletics, and I would define that as NAI, Division II, Division III. I think you're going to see schools like us continue to embrace the opportunity that we have to complement a college campus and to complement the college experience. And it's not to say that the schools at the highest level don't do that. I think they very much do. But I think you've seen the first step for them to gain autonomy. In fact, they have it. I think there are a number of institutions that are uncertain about the future. They're wondering, what is the trickle down going to be? And it really is the million-dollar question. But it will be very interesting for me to see where this sorts out. And you have major institutions that suggest that they're not going to become an entirely commercial enterprise. But it will get harder and harder to separate that college athletic experience from a professional experience, I think. I can point to a couple of areas that are really keys to my success. One is the people that I've surrounded myself with. We have a tremendous coaching staff, and I just think it's so critical. You're only as good as the people that you work with. And at Oklahoma City University, we have a great staff of coaches. We have great administrators and faculty on campus. And so I'm only as good as those people. And I've often said, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I need to be surrounded by people who are thinking about things that I'm not thinking about and who have skills that I don't have. And along that same line, I think something that's critical for me that helps me in my drive to be successful is I'm always learning. I really embrace the opportunity for professional development. I'm involved in NACDA. I host my own workshop, The Business of Small College Athletics. I mentioned earlier that I host a Sunday night Twitter chat. I'm really driven to seek out opportunities to get better professionally. And I think for anyone, the danger in life is when you reach the point that you're as good as you're going to be. None of us really ever want to get there. We tell our student athletes, you're not there. I tell my coaches, as good as a year as you had last year, how are we going to get better? And so I think for me, continuing to look for those opportunities to grow and embrace opportunities to improve our department is really important. I'm really grateful to NACDA to have this opportunity to kind of share my thoughts and ideas. And NACDA is a tremendous organization that started from the ground up, that provides opportunities for us to get better. And so I would absolutely encourage folks to participate in NACDA or some of the member organizations like NACMA or NAD to join us in our work to get better at what we do. So thanks to NACDA for this great opportunity to participate.